You keep asking for more. More money, more peace, more love, more freedom. And the universe keeps handing you exactly that, more vagueness. You're standing at the counter of creation, placing an order so blurry that even infinite intelligence squints at it. What if the reason your life feels half-answered is that you've only ever half-asked? Charles Haanel built an entire system around one quiet, almost uncomfortable truth. The world outside you is shaped by the world inside you, and the inside is shaped by the precision of your thought. Vague thinking is the original poverty. Long before the empty bank account, there was an empty image, a wish with no edges. Think about how you actually pray, plan, and want. I want a better life. Say it out loud and notice what your mind does. It produces fog. There's no scene to walk into, no specific room, no number, no face. You've requested a destination by describing the weather. So the supply that comes back matches the demand that went out. Shapeless, drifting, gone by Thursday. Here's where Haanel turns the whole thing on its head. Demand and supply are one motion, two ends of a single rope. The moment a demand becomes truly definite, the supply is already on its way to meet it. The universe doesn't withhold abundance to test you, it simply can't deliver to an address that keeps changing. So why do most people stay vague? Because vagueness feels safe. A blurry wish can never fully fail. If you only ask for more, you can always tell yourself you got a little, and you never have to face the silence of a clear request unmet. Definiteness asks something of you. It asks you to decide. And deciding means letting other possibilities die. That's the hidden cost nobody mentions. To become definite about one thing, you must release 100 maybes. The man who wants success in general protects himself from the grief of choosing. The woman who wants a good relationship avoids naming the actual person, the actual life, the actual standard. Vagueness is a hiding place dressed up as humility. Picture two architects. One says, "Build me something nice." The other hands over blueprints, down to the placement of every window and the grain of the wood. Which house gets built? You already know. Now realize your mind is the architect, and your daily thoughts are the only blueprints the builders ever receive. Haanel pointed at a law older than any of us, the principle that like attracts like, that thought correlates with the thing thought about. A definite thought is a definite cause, and a definite cause has a definite effect. This is the quiet engine behind every result you've ever gotten. Your scattered wanting was still law-abiding. It obeyed perfectly, gave you scattered fruit, and you blamed luck. The law never took a day off. It simply matched the exact frequency you transmitted, wobble and all. And that's the part that should both sober you and set you free. You have never once been outside the system. Every drifting daydream was an order. Every anxious rehearsal was a request, signed and sent. You've been manifesting at full capacity your whole life, just without aim. The shift Haanel asks for is not more effort, it's direction. But here's the challenge that stops people cold. How do you make a desire definite when you don't yet know exactly what you want? This is the real work, and it's where most spiritual practice quietly falls apart. Haanel's answer is patient and a little demanding. Definiteness is a discipline of returning. You sit with the desire daily, and each time you sit, the image sharpens by 1 degree. The first day you see fog, the 10th day you see a shape. By the 30th, you can walk through the door of the thing and feel the handle in your palm. Clarity is built, like a sculpture, by removing everything that isn't the form. This is the practice he called concentration, and it has been quietly misunderstood for a century. It's the relaxed, repeated act of holding one clear image until it stops flickering, and it helps to let your ears settle into one steady frequency while you do it. You put on a track retuned to 432 Hz through Attune. It converts any song on your phone, link in the description, and that low tone gives the image a floor to rest on. Your power leaks through scattered attention the way water escapes a cracked vessel. Seal the cracks, and the same water rises. Try it tonight. Take one desire and refuse to leave it abstract. Instead of financial freedom, write the exact figure, the exact use, the exact feeling of the morning you wake into it. Watch how your whole body resists. That resistance is the old vagueness fighting for its life, because the moment you get specific, you become accountable to your own wanting. And accountability is the doorway, because a definite demand changes the demander. You can hold a clear vision of a calmer life only while you stop feeding the chaos. The image starts editing your behavior from the inside. You begin, almost without noticing, to act like someone the vision could actually happen to. The supply was always about becoming the kind of vessel that could hold what arrives. Now, the honest objection. Plenty of people say they were crystal clear about what they wanted and still got nothing. Painful clarity, empty results. This deserves a real answer instead of a slogan. Look closer at what they were actually clear about. Often, the clarity sat on the surface while the doubt lived underneath. The conscious mind drew a sharp picture, while the deeper mind muttered, "This will never work, not for someone like me." That contradiction is itself a kind of vagueness, a divided demand. Haanel was relentless on this point. The subconscious is the soil, and it grows whatever seed is planted deepest. A confident affirmation laid over a buried fear produces a confused harvest because two demands went out and they cancelled each other on the way. So definiteness is about coherence, all the way down. The picture you hold in daylight and the feeling you carry at 3 in the morning have to agree. When they finally do, something shifts that you can feel before you can prove it. This is why the mental diet matters more than the vision board. You can spend 10 minutes visualizing wealth and 23 hours rehearsing lack. Every complaint, every "I can't afford it," every anxious scroll through what you don't have is another vague, fearful demand, placed with the same infinite supply. The universe stays faithful to all of you, including the parts you'd rather ignore. That's the discipline beneath the magic. It's the patient governing of what you let your mind rehearse all day long. The thought you keep returning to is the thought that keeps returning to you, dressed as circumstance. Consider how this rewrites your past disappointments. The relationship that drained you, the job that bored you, the money that came and vanished. Trace each one back, and you'll often find a vague demand at its root. You wanted to not be alone, so you got company that left you lonelier. You wanted to get by, so you got exactly enough to keep getting by, forever. Life answered your real order with terrible precision. There's something almost merciful in that. If your fuzzy demands produced fuzzy results, then a definite demand can produce a definite result through the very same law. The mechanism that disappointed you is the mechanism that can deliver. You were being answered the whole time. Feel the weight of that for a second. The power you've been begging the sky for has been running through your thoughts the entire time, mostly idling, occasionally sabotaging. Haanel's whole system is an invitation to stop scattering it and start aiming it. Concentrated thought is to a vague wish what a laser is to a light bulb. Same energy. One lights a room and forgets it. The other cuts steel. So what does definite demand actually require of you, starting now? The courage to name the thing without flinching, in detail, knowing you might not get it. The discipline to return to that image daily until it stops wobbling. The integrity to align your private feelings with your stated vision, so the deep soil and the surface seed finally match. None of this is fast. All of it is simple, and simple, sustained, is what almost no one does. Watch the temptation that comes next. Once your demand gets clear, your mind will rush to figure out how. The how is a trap that drags you back into anxiety and with it back into vagueness. Your job is the what and the why held with feeling and certainty. The how belongs to the supply-demand with precision. Then let the channels surprise you. They almost always arrive from a direction you'd never have drawn on your own blueprint. A clear demand also makes you patient in a way that vagueness never could. When you truly know what you've ordered, you stop frantically refreshing the page. You plant, then you tend, then you trust the soil. You finally stop digging up every morning to check on the roots. Most people kill their manifestations by impatience, which is really just doubt wearing a wristwatch. Notice too how definiteness quietly reorganizes your attention. A blurry wish leaves you open to every distraction because nothing pulls hard enough to hold you. A sharp demand acts like a magnet inside the noise. You start seeing the opening, the conversation, the small door that was always there and invisible to the unfocused eye. The world didn't change. Your filter did. Clarity is the lens that finally lets you recognize the supply already standing in front of you. So go back to that one desire, the blurry one you've carried for years, like loose change in a pocket. Today you take it out and count it. You give it edges, a number, a face, a date, a feeling. You let it cost you the comfort of staying undecided, and then you hold it calmly again and again until your inner world rearranges itself around its shape. The supply has been waiting at the exact size of your clearest demand this whole time. Stop whispering more into the fog. Name the thing, say it like you mean it, until the saying becomes the seeing, and the seeing becomes the